racing, and we're clean and away. Great stuff. More of that, please.
Pit lane open. Mind your speed.
Wow.
Bold move there.
Oh no! I think he's played a blinder here. Side by side. Until he's off the track. What a battle to the end.
Fantastic race. Great team effort. Good job, everybody.
Hi there, welcome to the 2022 Asian Le Mans Series. I am Nadia Nash, your host, and we are so happy to be welcoming you back to another amazing season. Now, we are here in the UAE for the second time in a row, and of course, we are retaining the same format, four-hour races in over 2 weekends. First in Dubai at the Dubai Autodrome, and then we'll make our way to Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit. And one thing we're very excited about is that we are welcoming back spectators right here at the circuit, and I'm sure it's a different feel altogether getting to enjoy the races right here at the venue. And we hope those at home can also share the excitement as well. We know you're watching from all over the world, whether it's from your mobile phones, your laptops, your television, because just last year in 2021, the Asian Le Mans Series has managed to garner 5.9 million live audience, all thanks to you. The series is growing stronger than ever, attracting world-class endurance racing teams, and they are also, of course, offering Asian teams to take part at the prestigious 24-hour of Le Mans, the crown jewel of the ACO. The qualifying sessions took place just this morning. The grid is going to open in just a few minutes. As you can see, we are at pit lane right now, and the cars are getting ready. At the back of me is Nielsen Racing car number 4. It will be leading the pack. In the car right now, if I'm not mistaken, is Rodriguez Sales. So leading the pack, leading the whole race. I can't wait to see how it will all unravel in this race 1 of 4 hours of Dubai. Now, of course, the show will not be complete without some insight, without our series commentators, and we're so lucky to have them once again, Graham Goodwin and Oliver Gavin.
Thanks so much, Nadia. It is indeed great to be back. It's great to be back with you, Ollie.
Great to be here, Graham.
It's great to see Nadia back after the travel restrictions meant she couldn't be with us last year. Welcome to the 2022 Asia Le Mans Series, a cracking grid of cars in LMP2, LMP3, and in particular, a record-breaking grid of GT3 cars ready to go in just a few minutes' time.
Well, the weather is set fair for this great event coming up, this first 4 hours here at the Dubai Autodrome. So we're just going to take you around the 16 turns, the 5.39 kilometre track here at the Dubai Autodrome, coming down into turn 1, one of the key overtaking points here on this racetrack. Then it's a number of fast sweeping corners, 2 and then into 3. This is where we can see a real pinch point in this multi-class racing here, through 5 and into 6, working your way back. 7 is a very tight corner, it's the lowest point of the racetrack, and then in 8 and into 9, the hairpin that then brings you out onto the long back straight, heading up into turn 10. Another key overtaking point. Brake zone, quite bumpy, dusty all the way up there, so you've got to be careful not to lose out there. Traction off of 10 is tricky, then into 11, then into another key overtaking point at turn 12. Traction difficult off of 12, a number of cars really struggling with that. Into 13 and then down to 14, really heavily banked corner. Out of that, you've got to be tight over to the left to then take the fast right-hander. Highest point of the racetrack here, and through into turn 16, sweeping through there and out to complete a lap here at the Dubai Autodrome.
And we had a little time earlier to look at a fast lap from Nicky Katzberg aboard the 34 Walgenhorst Motorsport BMW M4 GT3. Going to have a look back at the qualifying session earlier today here at the Dubai Autodrome. GT3 qualifying for race 1, and initially into the pound seats was the number 17 car. This is the APM Monaco car from AF Corsa. But Ben Barnicoat it was that took the Inception Racing McLaren to the top of the times. That time, though, was matched by the Ferrari at the end of the session. LMP3 and the first qualifying session delayed just slightly with a problem for the Nielsen Racing car. They wouldn't take part in the session. G-Drive Racing making their debut in LMP3 racing, but no one could do anything about the pace of Ranseur, reigning European Le Mans Series LMP3 champion. He put his mark with a vengeance on the session in the Nemo liveried DCAR Engineering Duqueine to take pole position. LMP2, first out was Dennis Anderson in the high-class racing car. This 4-car field, 3 Oricas and 1 Ligier, but it was the not the Graf Racing car for the first session, but this car, the number 4 Nielsen Racing car, new addition to their fleet that would take pole position with Ben for race 1.
Race 1 at the Dubai Autodrome, one of 2 over the weekend. On pole position, the number 4 Nielsen Racing Orica making its debut in the championship. DCAR Engineering's Duqueine took a double pole 2 in LMP3, and it would be the Inception Racing McLaren that took pole position with an identical time, the second place car in the class for Saturday's race. 35 cars, new drivers, new teams, and a brand new season, new format too, as the 4 hours of Dubai would go very quickly into full darkness.
Really building to the green. You know, we need to they want in that pack just to bunch up that little bit more. There will be a slight split between the prototypes and the GT cars, and that's just to make sure that they're nice and clean into turn 1. But the BMW M4 will just pull off into the pit lane now.
And away he goes, and we start to get this field neat and tidy and ready. There doesn't look to be a split here, you know. I don't think they're going to split this grid for this start, and Rodrigo Sales controls the field until the lights go out, and then we will be racing down towards the lights. And he gets the power on, he gets a good start away. Rodrigo Sales in the number 4 car, heading down towards turn 1. And we hold our breath and hope that everybody gets through here untroubled. Graf Racing car through into second, High Class Racing third, DKR well away in the lead of the race. It looked to me like the Inter-Europol car was making a move for second place there in LMP3 and has made it through.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's just giving each other plenty of room, just getting all those tyres up to temperature, just making sure there's no little incidents. 4 hours of racing. I'm sure they've had quite the briefing from the engineers and the team managers. Saying that.
That's a long way off.
That's a long way off. It looks like, is that one of the BMWs?
It did look like that.
Yes.
So was that John Miller? If so, he took a very quick line through it and will be required, I'm sure, to give up any places gained. That was the Attento Audi rather at braking himself as well. There's a yellow flag at turn 1, so something has happened at turn 1, and there appear to be a couple of LMP3 cars in trouble.
Now. Green flag now.
Green flag now. So it looks to me like the Finnish car and the CD Sport number 27 might well have been involved in that and have not yet, just now coming through sector 1. But Graf Racing car, the Hans-Erik Trier, is giving Rodrigo Sales something to think about at this point in the race, and Graf will want to get by here. This is their opportunity to put the pressure on for the Nielsen Racing team with the least experienced driver of the trio aboard the car right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is a time to pounce, and if they can, they will. And you know, this early stages and just still trying to bed yourself in. The grid is full of bronze drivers right now, and you know, it's maybe this is the first time they've ever started a race, and a race as big as this. You know, it does, the pressure can sometimes tell, and you know, so it can be a big event for these guys. So, you know, any race start is big. It's pressurized. That's great to see, though. Look at this. You know,
absolutely great stuff.
All tightly packed together, squabbling over those positions, and this great GT racing.
Well, that's Torsten Kratz in the 22 car. The one prototype in amongst there must feel like he's being mugged.
Yeah.
Still, the Rinaldi Duqueine looking to make its way through this group. He's just gone past the SPS car and up into 18th position overall
and that Mercedes continues to tumble down the order, and the McLaren, the Inception, no, the Optimum car was looking to get its way wave by, get its nose up inside. He's had it chopped off, and it looks like it's going to make the move stick now.
So Torsten Kratz looking to deal with the two GT cars ahead as the Oman Racing
No,
car.
it's the Temto car.
Yeah.
Wheel to wheel now with that Mercedes.
Got more straight line speed there, though, hasn't he? And the McLaren has taken advantage of just that little bit of balking there. And again, it just doesn't seem to have the confidence of the braking in that AMG.
No, he's...
Two McLaren side by side here with a BMW up the inside of both of them briefly. Sorry, the Porsche up the inside briefly. And it's the Optimum car.
Yes.
Is that Frank Bird?
It could well be, yes. Well, it looks like he's going to make the move stick down into turn one.
And again,
Nicely
it's
done.
a braking
He's gone
zone.
in deep.
And up the
Very
inside
deep.
as well, the 59.
Garrett's 59 car is still just, oh no, on the sand. He's going to make it stick for turn 4.
No, not quite there.
Close. Great racing.
This is good stuff. This
It
is
is.
what you want to see from a GT3 field. Depth, quality, variety.
Yeah, the Garrett's 59 car's just got up the inside now of the Mercedes, made it stick, and the Porsche as well, taking plenty of curb.
Yep.
And I think it's John Lockie, isn't it, in the Mercedes, and he's had a bit of a troubled start.
Yeah, but John, on his licence, Ian is known around the world in GT racing, and for that matter, has raced in LMP3 with us as the Herbeth car outbrakes again. He doesn't seem confident on the brakes.
No, he's
in that
not.
car.
He's not confident at all as he comes onto the brake
He
zones.
knows the AMG well. He's raced around Europe. He's a consistent race contender and even winner in the British GT Championship, an identical car to this. So is something just a little bit awry with the
Could
balance
well
of
be
that
just
car?
a little bit off, you know, tyre pressures, or just things aren't just coming up to tempo. The car is not handling in quite the same way in the practice sessions, but yeah, it can be what happens. You know, at a start, a driver just is all the time looking in the mirrors. He's worried about what's coming up, who's catching him, chasing him, and he just ends up driving in the mirrors. And it just takes a good chat from the team manager or the engineer just to sort of get your head down, eyes forward. Don't worry about what's behind you. You need to focus on going forward.
An investigation underway there too. There might be penalties to come here.
Eric Trullier in the lead here.
Last time around from Trullier, 152 from Anderson, 151 from Sales. You know what? We're going to have a 3-car battle here.
We are, and at the moment it's all clean. There's no traffic, but you introduce a bit of GT traffic into that, and that will really spice things up. And we could see all 3 of them coming together, squabbling over the same bit of tarmac.
What's going on there?
Cox car going in the box.
Oh, that's not great.
No, it's a shame.
So that car had made great progress, as we said. It made up 10 positions. P teams get in amongst the traffic, including the LMP3 leader. This is Mathieu de Barbeau, who has fended off the challenge of Colin Wells.
Close.
No further action on the start, apart from it's the 4, the 17, the 22 and the 42 that are under investigation. That includes Nielsen Racing, that was the pole position car, which is, by the way, up into 2nd place now. So Rodrigo Sales has gone through into 2nd place.
It's tricky here on the brakes into turn 10. It's bumpy, and there's a little rise just there as they go past the apex, and that can upset the car as you try to get back on the power. Even with traction control, you can lose the car. You see all the cars walking as they go over the curbs there at the exit. Yeah, I think what it says is that it's quite hard to keep everything just right at the peak performance, and the car might be quite peaky to drive. So it's all about just really keeping to your rhythm, hitting your marks, executing, not overreaching, overdriving. But this is actually the battle at the front here.
It is. Now the LMP3 traffic's out the way. All of a sudden, Rino Mastronardi's got his dander up. These guys are being closed by both the Conrad Ginetta and also Frankie Bird in the number 88 Garage 59 McLaren. He's having a phenomenal start to this race.
There is very, very little external light.
Team manager of the D-Station Racing team is being called to race control. Now I wonder whether or not we've got pit lane penalties coming, or was there an incident between the 2 cars, 77 and 48? Through the first half hour, we've got this lead battle now, and this is all about can Conrad Grinevald fend off Rino Mastronardi.
And if you're a team manager now, or an engineer, you'll be really trying to advise your driver don't get into anything too crazy here. We are still within the first hour of the race.
Yep.
There's so much racing to happen here. Just exist on the track together. If there's any questionable move, just let the competition go and follow the car, letting those GT car drivers know that the P cars are coming.
That was a good move through. Under braking from Rodrigo Salas, it's pushed the Rinaldi car wide, I'm afraid, but he's going to get the better exit here. This could be the moment for Rodrigo Salas. Comes to the scene of his incident earlier in the race. He thinks discretion the better part of valor there, and will get the power down now from the 4.2 litre Gibson V8 engine. Bring the music. Past the Ferrari goes, and on they go. Battle rejoined, half a second across the line between the two cars, leading the race overall. 39 from number 4. Bit of a flash of the lights from the Armani driver. Bit of a squirrel under braking as he made it through.
Not quite.
But as that, given it has Hubert Haupt the opportunity to go up the inside there.
Oh, boys.
Oh, great stuff.
Oh, yes.
And the leader is on pit road. That's Eric Trullier. Is on pit road now. The race leader on that 3-car battle. Again, Hubert Haupt looks at the inside. Is he going to make it this time? Doesn't quite do it. Ahmed Al-Hati. He's no pushover in a GT3 car.
How was your stint just now for the first hour, Rodrigo?
Well, I mean, I'd say it didn't go exactly as I'd hoped. I made a small mistake, a little bit too hard of initial brake hit, and locked the rears and lost the rear in the final corner. But apart from that, I was able to make up the time.
This is the Nielsen Ligier LMP3 car with Colin Noble in the box, and they're going actually into the pit box.
Oh dear, no, that's not great.
No.
It was a fairly neat and tidy start, but a few penalties were to follow. Rodrigo Salas got away with the number 4 Nielsen Racing car, their debut, full season debut in LMP2 with this brand new Oreca. But neat and tidy there. There was a few hiccups behind with a spinning LMP3 car and some GT3 cars off in avoidance in the early parts of this race. But Salas it was holding off Eric Trullier, was keen to try to get onto terms with the LMP2 debutants. Plenty to watch and savour in GT3. The dive up the inside there for the number 42 Optimum car, the 59 McLaren, debut for the team with the McLaren 720. Tried to do what they could, but getting past Ian Loggie's SPS Performance AMG didn't quite make it. But it's been tusslesome in GT3, including these three: Brendan Arieb, Ahmed Al-Hati and Hubert Haupt. And this was, well, pass, no pass, repeat throughout the first 40 minutes or so of the race. In LMP3, Mathieu de Barbeau fending off initially the challenge of starting driver for Nielsen Racing, Colin Noble, in the number 8 Nielsen Racing team. That would change later. After a bit of a half spin, cost the lead for Rodrigo Salas. He would get back onto terms for a fine end to the finish. Graf Racing to lead the race to the pit stops.
Yeah, I was quite happy about my stints. I did a really great job, and the setup of the car was quite amazing. I give the car to my teammate with maybe 50 seconds in advance, so I'm quite happy about that.
This is the number 55 car, our lead car overall in GT3. David Perel, South African, known in particular outside of his real-life motorsport for his other business, another career in sim racing, where he's known as Coach Dave, and provides sim racing setups for cars around the world.
The stint was very good for me. I made a very good start. The car was great, I would say. I have to say. The only trouble I had was an LMP3 that was just in front of me. That slowed me down a lot at the beginning. But then I was able to overtake him and then catch the leading car. I stayed behind because by radio they told me that they had a 10-second penalty at the pit stop, so I didn't want to take any risk to overtake it.
So the GT here.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And it's just all bottling up a little bit behind Alexander West.
But he's keeping them behind.
He is. Chandler Hull, Rory Penttinen, Louise Perret. They're all squabbling for the bit of tarmac, which you'd love to see.
They won't notice this. Is it
He's
that?
trying to tell himself
or,
that,
or,
yes.
Or is he just getting to the stage where the grip is going away?
It's both. It's both that he is trying to just keep up that same lap time. He's feeling the pressure from Ollie Milroy. So if Ollie Milroy's engineers are on the radio to him just saying, look, just keep the pressure up, he's about to buckle.
It's exactly the same warning, by the way, to Ife Ye. He's a little further back down the order than this battle, but battling his way back. That CD Sports Ligier, by the way, that's in the middle of this pack, is for position overall. That is the car that actually had the spin at the very start of the race.
Goes Matt Bell through to put another lap on those guys, and he's in some...
And he's just actually been through, we've not seen this, but he's been through the pits.
Yeah, he has.
And he's emerged from the pits, still with 30 seconds to the good.
A great battle between the Oman Racing and
Isn't
the Optimum boys. Andrew Watson's trying to line him up. He looks like he might just... Nope.
Up there.
Not quite done the...
And they'll be on the radio to the driver. So is Eric Trouet staying in again?
Yeah, there's something...
Or
the way
did
that
we
they're talking, they were talking between the crew chief and the car controller.
It looked to me, just as we left that shot, as he might have had a bit of a stall there.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
well, that's a big dive bomb there for the 91 car. That is Alfred Renoir making progress and getting by the Racing car and through to Francis Andrew Watson, doesn't he?
He's on it. He's hustling, really hustling,
Remember,
getting it done.
He was at the back of this group, wasn't he? He's
Yeah.
managed to get by one of them, but they oh so nearly won the race. Had it not been for one of those irritating, teeny-weeny part problems.
Yeah.
But there was nothing wrong whatsoever with the pace the car was showing. And great to see Cell's success coming the way of the organisation from Woking.
Andrew just needs to line up Alexander, just coming off of this turn 12 down into 13, 14. Alexander's very early on the brakes into 14.
They've got
Here we go.
LMP2 traffic coming as well. That was side by side. Is he going to tough this one through?
Yeah, he's going to get that done.
I don't think he is.
Wow.
Oh, runs wide. He's going to get the cut back.
No, he's
but there's
not.
traffic again. Well done, Alexander West.
Nice bit of driving there
Wasn't
by
it
both
just
of them.
clean, fair,
absolutely.
firm? It's second pit stop. They're going to be just, I'd have thought, in the next 4 or 5 minutes. By the way, the car is in front of it, and that's another lock-up. I don't think it was the Conrad car, though. I think it might have been the car that's ahead of that. Could we get a chance here to see the little Ginetta, the 21 car, running pretty well. We've had, by the look of it, a bit of a delay somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
But this is Gabriele Rindoni, a late addition to this effort.
The reason why Franz is not driving, I believe.
Indeed, and Gabriele raced here in a 24-hour race just last month in a Porsche Cup car. That's a very different beast indeed. This is the LMP3 leader, about to be overtaken with another lap on by the overall race leader.
As we're watching the 55 car come down through, still leading in GT, and that's David Perel. He's the lead, or that gap that he had over Ollie Milroy is still continue to come down, and he is just a little bit on the ragged edge there with the track limits. We'll see how he comes off of turn 9 here. But David is, I think, feeling the pressure now from Ollie.
So Inception Racing, Brendan Arieb, a great run in the number 7 McLaren. We've seen some great runs throughout the season so far from this team. Very Pret now aboard the number 17 APM Monaco AF Corsa car, having led the race. Lost that with a delay in the pits. 26 G-Drive Racing car has been in 3rd position throughout this session in the LMP3 class. The 57 Kessel Racing car pushing on. The 55 Rinaldi Ferrari taking advantage of a delay in the pits for the 17 to make good its escape. With a shot here of the 26 car. 13 car, the Inter-Europol competition Ligier, 2nd in LMP3. And not able to hang on to the charge at the front from the number 2 D-Car Engineering car, which holds a mighty advantage, and still with Laurence Herr to come. Nemo is on it. 49 High-Class Racing Orica, hanging on in there, 3rd position. 39 car losing the lead during this 2nd hour. to this car. Matt Bell is absolutely charging. He's got a lap lead in inside an hour for the Englishman aboard the number 4 Nielsen Racing Team car. Their season debut, their brand new Orica. But does trouble loom for the Nielsen Racing Team? 2 more hours to go of the 4 hours of Dubai.
Just seeing that the team manager for the car 4 is immediately to race control. That's not exactly what you want to see from Nielsen Racing.
I suspect that is the pit lane penalty that they've been working for a little wee while.
Yeah.
So
Duquesne on the DKR car on pit road.
That's from 3rd, and this is the 2nd stop for the race leading team in LMP3. They've got a big lead now.
This is going to be a real challenge for all of these boys in P3 machinery.
Now, we said that it gets dark very quickly here. You've seen how quickly it gets very dark indeed. That is the Rinaldi car.
55 car.
That's the 55 car from the lead in GT3, and 5th position overall at this stage of the race. That's remarkable.
Yeah, they'll be strapping David Rigon into that to go to the end, I take it.
Great to see David back in.
Yeah.
DCAR Engineering,
slightly off sequence.
I think, have retained the lead. Yes, they have. And just looking at where the gap is.
There was the 49 car. You saw the mechanic just take one of those tear-offs off.
Yep.
That's what I was talking about earlier on, and that just gives you such a clean view out the windscreen.
How long does that last?
Around here should be pretty good. But it really does depend if you're following a car that's throwing out oil, water, dirt, any muck, and the sand here will just stick to it like glue. 1 to 4 is the P2, and then 1 for the next 5 positions is all P3.
Matt Bellett is back out into the fray, so we'll have to wait a while before we see Ben Hanley aboard the car. That has got a light panel not working, so that will require a change. There is our leader. That is Davide Rigon in the number 55 car. See, that's lit at the side. The P2 car between him and Ben Barnicoat. So well done, cameraman, for picking that one out. Not easy. And Davide will be doing all he can not to be delayed by that passing P2 car, because Ben Barnicoat will need absolutely no invitation whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
Good luck with that, Michael.
Yeah. I see Davide Rigon and Ben Barnicoat still just... It's like they're just slowly fencing away with one another, not really engaging. Ben will pounce if there's a little mistake from Davide. But it's just, there's still plenty of time to go here.
Well, the 2 clues as to which is the McLaren is the shape of the lights at the back and the green light in the middle of the top of the windscreen. But it looks to me like Ben is beginning to look for a way by rapidly.
In these sort of conditions, when you're being followed so closely by a car like the McLaren, it's taking all your concentration to almost like remove that car from behind you and just focus what's forward. So Davide Rigon is going to have his hands full, just keeping his focus, because the lights are so powerful on these GT3 cars now that it takes a real skill and real focus to stay always looking forward.
He goes up the inside and he makes the pass.
Big move.
It was a big move. Great disc, glowing red.
And made it stick.
He has indeed. And is he now going to be able to make good his escape? It's been a long time lead for Rinaldi Racing, but that has gone the way now of Inception Racing, the number 7 car. And a calling card put down there by Ben Barnicoat. And then the Rinaldi Racing number 22, which we think had a bit of a spin out the darkness reasonably recently. That's the top 9. 10th overall is the first of this 22-car GT3 field, and that, as we saw just a little while ago, is Ben Barnicoat in the Inception Racing number 7 car, with his mirrors full of a very brightly lit, very bright red Ferrari of Davide Rigon. And we'll keep an eye on his form as to whether or not that's a gap that's gradually closing or otherwise. So there is plenty of racing to go in what's just over 90 minutes remaining of this 4-hour race. It's the 4 car. Matt Bell completes another lap. His lap 77 in the books now. 152.0 for Matt, to give you an idea of the difference in pace here for Sebastian Paget, a 158.4. Dennis Anderson at 156.3, but has a big gap to fill. This is the race leader. This is the 4 car.
Matt's going to be jumping out. Ben jumping in.
Yeah. So Ben Hanley.
Yeah, no tear off for Ben. They're just cleaning the shield, just cleaning the windscreen.
It probably wasn't in the contract.
Maybe not. Ben's just, I don't know, it was Matt's giving the front of the car a bit of a look. Is he giving it a bit of a tap?
Doesn't look to be any damage that I can see.
No. Nice work, Matt.
Yeah, it was indeed.
Strong running.
He'll be very interested in his average lap times, I'm sure, from that stint. Problem is that a car problem. My guess is it's the former.
Yeah, it needs to be.
There is Ben Barnicoat, and he is pulling away now from Davide Rigon.
Yeah.
And doing so reasonably steadily. Ben Hanley out on track and will start his first flying lap now. But let's go down and have a quick chat with one of the men who's been driving very quickly this evening. Nadia is with Matt Bell.
So, Matt, tell us, how was your stint just now?
It was long. Yeah, I felt like I was in there forever. It's quite physical, this track, so I think I was in for pretty much a triple stint there. But yeah, car was feeling good. We're just keeping our head down, trying to edge our lead out. I think we came back in with a couple of laps lead, so handed it over to Ben, and hopefully he's going to bring it home, just fingers crossed.
So we see the Graf car pit now, so that 2-lap gap is going to extend further here. Driver change for Graf Racing. DKR Engineering, they've managed to just edge out again to 29 seconds. So that edging back of that advantage has just been stopped and reversed just for the moment. John Corbett still sits behind the lead 2 cars in LMP3 in his Ligier for ARC Bratislava. I think we have gone full course yellow, protecting that site for any kind of
He's not
recovery.
that far off the racing surface.
No.
Let's see if he can get it going. The lights have gone off, maybe the brake lights. Let's see if he's going to be able to get that moving.
Horrible moment
Yeah,
for...
everything's gone off now.
So hour 3, and the big feature here was a battle for the lead between the 55 Rinaldi Ferrari, punched down by Ben Barnicoat in the Inception Racing team, and it was a solid move, really solid move by the McLaren up the inside through turn 1 that took that lead. And since then, 10th by 10th by 10th, it's the McLaren man that's been pulling away in the lead of what's been a closely fought GT battle. The 7 car has been strong throughout this race meeting so far, and that doesn't look like changing any time soon. It's now going to be about a battle for survival in the darkness. LMP3 and the 13 car from Inter-Europol competition look set to perhaps take advantage of a delay on the pit lane for the long-time leader and still leading DKR Engineering car. That car, by the way, has just been in and out of the pits, but the number 2 car has retained the advantage through this hour. In LMP2 and for the overall lead, 39 car with a light panel out has been losing ground to the number 4 Nielsen Racing team car after a triple stint from Matt Bell punished the opposition with just pace and pace and more pace. Ben Hanley now aboard that car for the run to the finish. The number 4 car currently holds a 2-lap lead in this 4-hour race. We're under full course yellow for a problem with the Conrad Ginetta as we go into the final hour of the race.
Drivers just trying to get themselves going again after that full course yellow period. Heavy brake zone into turn 10. And working their way through. There's the leader, Ben Hanley. And again, it's a case of him just winding through this last hour and clicking off the laps, being smart, not risking the car, really picking his points to overtake people.
But somewhere, Ben Barnicoat has made a bit of a break here to the tune of, I think, about 9 seconds to the good. And they're both still lapping very quickly. I mean, evidenced by the fact Davide Recon has just done the fastest lap of the 55 cars race, a 1:58.261, which, by the way, Barnicoat beat last time around by a couple of hundredths.
And
so this is the point at which we're going to start to see whether or not this just cooling air, and there's this is indeed
the 17 and the 42. So this is Abril and Osborne really going at it. Joe's really putting the pressure on. He's looking to make the cut back up the inside, so he's on the outside now into 12. And can he get the nice slingshot and really work on that traction that the McLaren's got off the corner? Not quite, but he's going to sit in the toe, then down to turn 14. He's lining him up, Joe. That pressure's going to build. It's going to build on the 17 car. Vincent is experienced, but Joe is going to really pile it on.
Monstrous on the brakes there.
Yeah, very good. Strong performance. And Vincent just hard on the power there. The rear of the Ferrari was squirming away. Just been trying to line him up as he comes through 16 off the corner. See if he can get a nice slingshot off the corner. Use all of the road on the way out. Nice toe down the straight. Joe's got a pretty decent exit there. See if he can make it stick going into turn 1.
It's not going to be a deja vu move, is it? I watched them through turn 1. I'll tell you of another car in trouble that I've just spotted that was in a... There we go. He's looking to do the same move here, isn't he?
He is.
I just wonder, have they been on the phone?
It's possible. It's possible.
It works.
Yeah.
Trouble, by the way, for the car that was running second in LMP3. The 13 into Europol car that has dropped all the way down the order, has just come back out on the track after 14 minutes in the pit. So my apologies for not spotting that as we're watching other battles. Florence Herr has stopped somewhere at turn 9 by the look of it. CD Sport lead the race. 3 from 27 from 22. It's a full course yellow, which is going to come out with 20 minutes of the race to go. And the lead car from the start of this race in LMP3, and there it is. Side? It's on the side of the road. Well, well, well. Who saw that coming? I most certainly did not.
They were cruising, absolutely cruising.
It's a full course yellow for the recovery, by the look of things, of that car. Back to green, 15.5 minutes remain of what's been a very pacey 4 hours of Dubai. The first 4 hours of Dubai. We have another tomorrow. Number 4 car on its out lap completed now, Ben Hanley, and 114 laps completed. And as a mark of the level of dominance from this effort, 3 laps to the good over the number 39 car of David Drew. It's been a bad run from the Graf Racing team. They just have not had the depth of pace available that Nielsen Racing have displayed. Seemingly taking the position by running through pit lane rather than continuing on a full course yellow.
Yeah, it did seem... it looked like it was going to be a great move, but then I don't know whether somebody's had a word with them and told them to give the position back.
Full course yellow speed?
What is full course yellow speed? 80 Ks.
And what's the speed down pit lane?
Oh, that's 60 Ks.
I can't understand. It can't be that much of a difference, unless it was simply a bit of a timing glitch.
Yeah.
But we've had 4 cars do it. In fact, 5 cars do it. Because the attempt to racing one is actually a drive-through penalty.
Right.
Actually, that says stop go because that was the 8 seconds, wasn't it? The 32 seconds.
It's really mentally taxing driving around here in the dark and dealing with other cars coming by you, multi-class racing, all of the stuff that we've talked about. And you know, Joe's being flashed by a P car coming up behind him. It's going to go all the way around the outside of him. That's a high-class racing car, I think it is.
So didn't delay him too badly. What's it going to do to the man ahead? I should say, by the way, I'm not sure if you mentioned this one while I was checking something else here, but I'll mention it, which was the penalty that was pushed the way of the 91 Herberth car was cancelled. So there will be no penalty for Robert Renaud. That means that he's kept his 5th position in GT and holds a 10-second gap.
Can Joe get the run off of here? Oh, he's using every inch of racetrack. This has been quite the battle. Great to watch.
3.5 minutes left. At the inside, nowhere through there, but all of a sudden, That was much deeper into the corner from the Ferrari. Is his grip beginning to go away?
Yeah, and Joe's just piling the pressure on it. Can he make it stick through here? He just needs to wind the speed through the centre, get on the throttle nice and early, really use that grunt from the McLaren. And that looks
That
good,
was good.
really
That was
good.
very good.
Excellent stuff, Joe.
Oh. Now it's going to get interesting. Has
really
to defend
is.
to the pit wall, goes to the outside this time. Who's going to get to the corner? Who's going to get to the apex? There's not contact, but it's close. Is the cutback available here? It's not quite. That was very aggressive defence from Vincent Abril.
It looks like Joe's going to... no, not quite.
2.5 minutes to go.
Great racing. It was an aggressive move there from Vincent. Harsh but fair, just about.
Just about.
Yeah, it was one move. Joe had to go to the outside there into turn 1.
Abril has been excellent in defence here.
He really has. I mean, he's had Joe in his mirrors for over an hour now, and that is really tough. If Joe can just get a great run off of here.
He's got a great run off there.
Yeah.
He's got a great run.
Is he going to be able to make it stick up the inside? Is he going to defend? Sure,
Not
he's quite
quite
close
enough,
enough.
no.
No. Is he going to be able to work it, much like some others have with McLaren against Ferrari, and just switching it backwards and forwards, but it doesn't look like Joe's quite strong enough through these section of 10, 11, 12. Got into maybe a little bit deep there. Okay, it's
Well,
Joe had his chance. Not sure.
Car 96, by the way, has been reported to the stewards for not respecting a stop-and-go penalty. So, 96 is the attempt to a racing car. They didn't stop for long enough. By
Right.
the look of that, they did stop,
Yeah.
but not for long enough.
Right.
So they're going to get, I would imagine, a fairly hefty penalty for that.
Error on the stopwatch.
Yeah. So into the final minute of this enthralling start to the Asia Le Mans series, as we watch these cars cross the line. And we're going to get one more lap, I think, because Ben Hanley is in the final sector. So
Here he
we're
comes.
about to come through to start the final lap. And I'm sure we'll stick with Ben for that, and quite right that we should do so. So the number 4 car, Rodrigo Sales, a fine start to LMP2 with Nielsen Racing. One minor error, but an impressive recovery from that to bang in really impressive lap times. Hand over the car in good order to Matt Bell, who went into Conan the Destroyer mode. Not with contact, but with pace. And then Ben Hanley, to complete the picture, did a great job here.
Yeah,
and
Ben
is
has
now
been
working
super
that final
strong.
lap.
He's been super strong all weekend, and Matt did a brilliant job in that car in the middle of the race. He really was knocking out some great lap times, and Ben's just bringing it home, just closing it out. No mistakes, and the team have done a really solid job. Now 4 laps to the good over the Graf Racing car in second place. Anders Fjordbach in the 49 high-class racing car. He's in third in LMP2. He's some 47 seconds behind David Drew. So
A couple of cars pitting right at the end here. The 95 TF Sport car, Johnny Adam, and the SBS car, and the 22 Rinaldi car has pitted, which puts G-Drive into a podium position.
they were going that short on the fuel, maybe. It was... They were hoping for more laps under caution or
Now, I'm just...
under yellow.
We call this a final lap. Is the checkered flag ready, or is this time plus 1 lap? But the number 4 car from Nielsen Racing, unchallenged really in the latter part of this race. It is 1 more lap. It is that oddness of time plus 1 lap.
So Joe's going to get another crack at
He
trying to
is
get
indeed.
past Vincent.
Wow.
Let's see. It's still about half a second in it. Those two have been glued together for the last hour and a bit. Amazing.
So Rinaldi, unfortunately, appeared to have called that one wrong.
Are we going to get any others that have just made that calculation just a little bit
The
Got it
95
on the wrong side of it.
TF Sport car, that was a run through pit lane, so that might have been a penalty. And the SPS car, 21 seconds as well. So there's been 2 drive-throughs plus 21 seconds and a 40-second on pit lane from the Rinaldi car, which just cost that car a podium finish.
Yeah.
So CD Sport G-Drive Racing on their debut in LMP3 with Graf looked like bringing home a podium finish.
Excellent work.
Inception Racing looked like winners here. And there's a car running very slowly there indeed. Very slowly indeed.
Almost out of fuel, it looked like.
Now, what car's that? We'll keep an eye on as to what was going on with that car, but we're going to keep an eye on this car after an amazing run. Congratulations to Nielsen Racing, to all 3 drivers. You can fight what they bring to the fight, and they've done that, and done that with aplomb. It's going to be tough for the other 3 starters in LMP2 to do anything about this, I feel, in the Asia Le Mans Series. As Ben Hanley brings home the number 4 Nielsen Racing car to win the opening 4 hours of Dubai and round 1 of the 2022 Asian Le Mans Series.
And just in front of them, you saw the 42 car and the 17 battling it out, going down into turn 1. They're going to do one more lap.
One more lap. Still on their final lap, but it looks very good indeed for Inception Racing. Here comes the number 7 car. Great start to the race from Brendan Arib. Ollie Milroy backed it up beautifully, and Ben Barnicoat applied the final touches. The LMP3 race winner, here it comes. It is Edward Carpe in the CD Sport number 3. Crosses the line now to take the LMP3 win. What seemed an unfeasible result for that team.
Nielsen Racing then take a win on their LMP2 debut in the Asia Le Mans Series, the number 4 Orica coming home ahead of the LMP2 AM class winning Orica, the 39 of Graf Racing. CD Sport take a 1-2 with the number 3 Ligier coming home on top of LMP3, and the Inception Racing McLaren number 7 wins GT. The record-breaking GT field saw fabulous competition throughout, with the number 20 SPS Automotive Performance AMG winning GTM in 20th place overall.
Well, the start of the 2022 Asia Le Mans Series season at Dubai Autodrome, with the number 4 Nielsen Racing Orica making its debut here in the UAE and jetting away into a convincing lead. A great early move from the number 42 McLaren. That car would play a part later. Contact with the number 77 Aston Martin put the number 48 Salassane by Cox Racing car out early on. As we got in towards sunset, there was fantastic racing between a number of battling groups of GT3 cars in this record GT3 entry. Number 55, the Rinaldi Racing Ferrari, looked pretty dominant at one part of this race, but was chased down by the number 7 Inception Racing McLaren as Ben Barnicoat got his second wind aboard the 720S. That battle was decided with a fantastic move from Barnicoat in the final turn. In LMP2, very start of the race, whilst looking comfortable in the lead, a half spin from Rodrigo Sales cost him the lead and second place, but he kept his head down and pushed on. The 13 car looked set for a podium position, but faltered, as did the number 2, dominant almost throughout this race, until problems at a pit stop that might well have caused the issue that finally stopped Lawrence Hur, the car failing to finish. It would be CD Sport that would come home with not just a win, but a 1-2 in a season where the team have told us they're struggling for a deal for the rest of the year. Number 4, though, in the hands of Matt Bell, punishing pace to seal the deal, and it would be Ben Hanley's experienced hands that would bring home the car to what for this team will be a famous win under the lights and the gantry. In the darkness, happy Nielsen Racing. That's Matt Bell there, with big hugs around the Nordic script on the Orica as Ben Hanley climbed out after a night's hard work well done. Nielsen Racing will go to tomorrow's race as the championship leaders. after a faultless run under the not very many lights at Dubai Autodrome.
The podiums saw 4 very happy class-winning teams from LMP2, LMP3, GT and GT-AM. The teams knew well that they'd come back and do it all over again the following evening at the Dubai Autodrome.
So that's it from us, I think, and really enjoyed that. It's great to be back in the booth with you, Graham, and looking forward to another 4 hours tomorrow.
Well, it's a reunion of the Asian Le Mans Series family here in Dubai. Thanks very much to Oliver Gavin. Thanks very much to the TV production crew. That was not an easy race to pick up, people. It's been a fantastic start to what is going to be this rapid-fire season with 3 more 4-hour races to come. He's been Oliver Gavin. I've been Graham Goodwin. You go back to see Nadia Nash to say goodnight, and how great it is to have Nadia back with us after a year away.
Thank you so much, Oliver Gavin and Graham Goodwin. I guess you've said all I could say, because if race 1 was any benchmark or any sign of what's to come for the whole season, it was spectacular. It was exciting. It was full of drama. Make sure you stick around for more endurance racing action, because that's all we can promise you. For now, the Asian Le Mans Series is signing off, and we'll see you tomorrow.